Hello and a warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I'm Shivangi Mishra, and on today's top stories. India builds future-ready defense technology. Bangladesh floods leave communities stranded, death toll rises. BOJK protests grow amid rights concerns. Driven by initiatives like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, India's defense sector is witnessing a remarkable transformation. A nation once relying on imports for advanced military technology is now empowering young innovators and startups to build cutting-edge solutions at home. From smart laser systems and AI-powered navigation to secure communication technologies. India is rapidly emerging as a hub of indigenous defense innovation and self-reliance.
India's defense sector is no longer just a buyer of military equipment. It is emerging as a hub of high-tech innovation. Driven by initiatives like Make in India and Self-Reliant India, the country's defense production has reached a record level of nearly 18.4 billion USD, while defense exports have crossed 4.5 billion USD. With growing private sector participation and a thriving startup ecosystem, indigenous technologies are reshaping the future of defense. Bangalore-based Cubitronics Solutions is a prime example, developing a smart laser rangefinder that not only measures targets but also provides real-time location and GPS coordinates, all connected through a mobile interface.
हमारा डिवाइस मोबाइल के थ्रू कनेक्ट हो जाता है। जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं, हमने इसको कनेक्ट कर दिया है और ये मोबाइल के थ्रू हमारा डिवाइस इंटरनेट के थ्रू कनेक्ट हो जाएगा। हम यहाँ से कमांड सेंड कर सकते हैं और पूरा डेटा मॉनिटरिंग, स्टेटस मॉनिटरिंग हम मोबाइल पे ले सकते हैं।
The system features a built-in compass and navigation capabilities, helping soldiers track locations and navigate in challenging environments while reducing dependence on foreign technologies and strengthening India's indigenous defense capabilities.
So this technology will make India as a self-reliant and no other country, like we will not be depending on any other country for the technology and for any of the warfare equipments. So this will be making us a self-reliant and self-sufficient for all the needs.
This indigenous technology has also drawn interest from the Defence Research and Development Organisation, that is DRDO, and Indian Optal Limited, Dehradun. Encouraged by this recognition, the young innovators are now working towards developing more advanced and powerful defence systems.
यहाँ पे हम जो इलेक्ट्रो ऑप्टिक्स में काम कर रहे हैं, इसका जो एप्लीकेशन है वो डिफेंस के अंदर और इंडस्ट्री में और स्मार्ट सिटी और कहीं अन्य फील्ड्स में है। अभी क्योंकि भारत सरकार इस टाइम पे पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप पे बहुत जोर दे रही है।
Meanwhile, next-generation technologies are transforming the future of secure military communication. Bangalore-based deep tech startup Cosmic is developing India's indigenous optical space communication infrastructure, a laser-based technology designed to transmit data faster and more securely than traditional radio systems. It aims to address the challenge of transferring massive satellite data in real time.
फास्ट स्टीयरिंग मिरर एक ऐसा टाइप का मिरर है जो हमें एबिलिटी देता है कि हम लाइट को सबसे ज़्यादा लेवल तक हम कंट्रोल कर पाएँ इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन। और इसका एंगल हम आपके बाल से भी छोटे लेवल तक हम इसकी एंगल और इसकी रिफ्लेक्शन कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं।
The biggest advantage of this technology is enhanced security. With ultra-narrow laser beams that are difficult to intercept or jam, it could pave the way for faster, safer, and next-generation communication networks for the armed forces.
हम जो नॉर्मली लोड करते हैं या रीड करते हैं वो हम डिग्री में करते हैं। 1 डिग्री से भी छोटा अगर हम रेजोल्यूशन पे इसको पॉइंट करना चाहते हैं तो हम इस तकनीक का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। इससे हम लेज़र पॉइंटिंग का इस्तेमाल बहुत अच्छे से कर सकते हैं। ये हमारी सेनाओं के लिए पॉइंटिंग, शूटिंग एंड ट्रैकिंग तीनों में यूज़ हो सकता है।
At the same time, startups are revolutionizing drone and robotics technology with high-precision navigation systems. Bangalore-based Yanendriya is developing AI-powered sensors and flight control systems that enable drones to navigate with greater stability and accuracy, opening new possibilities in defense, smart agriculture, industrial automation, and surveillance.
We have been able to cater to that, and we look forward serving the country better by enhancing these platforms much to an extent so that it can be deployed from unmanned rovers inside the underwater systems to the space satellite systems. Building that navigation stack is our goal, and we look forward building that.
From smart sensors and laser communication to AI-powered navigation systems, India's young innovators are not just building cutting-edge technologies, they are driving the nation's journey towards defense self-reliance. This new wave of defense startups is shaping a stronger, smarter, and future-ready India.
Relentless monsoon rains have unleashed widespread devastation across southeastern Bangladesh, triggering deadly floods and landslides that have claimed dozens of lives and stranded over 1 million people. In the worst-hit district of Cox's Bazar, entire villages remain submerged, with residents struggling for food, shelter, and basic necessities as relief efforts continue. Here's a report.
Days of relentless monsoon rain have triggered one of Bangladesh's deadliest flood disasters this season, claiming at least 54 lives and leaving hundreds of thousands stranded across the country's southeast. Among the worst-hit areas is Cox's Bazar, where floodwaters have submerged roads, homes, and schools, cutting off entire communities. Residents continue to wade through waist-deep water, while many families remain marooned.
মানে আজকে 4-5 দিন ধরে পানি মানুষ বাড়ি ঘরে আসতে পারছে না, মানুষ না খেয়ে মারা যাচ্ছে। কোনো প্রতিনিধি, কোনো চেয়ারম্যান এলাকার মধ্যে এসে কোনো খোঁজ খবর নিচ্ছে না। মানুষ যাতায়াতের সমস্যা হচ্ছে, মেইন সমস্যা হচ্ছে খাওয়ার নাই মানুষের থেকে। এটা দিনে না দিন খাই। আজকে 5 দিন ধরে কোনো জায়গায় যেতে পারছে না, ঘর ভেঙে যাচ্ছে, নদীতে পড়ে যাচ্ছে, কোনো খোঁজ খবর নিচ্ছে না।
Residents say food has become their biggest concern, with many daily wage earners unable to work for several days. They also allege that relief assistance has been slow to reach the worst affected areas. The flooding has submerged entire neighborhoods, forcing families to move their livestock to higher ground, while schools and public infrastructure remain underwater. Community leaders estimate that nearly 12,500 to 13,000 families are stranded in a single village, with floodwaters reaching the roofs of several homes and washing away roads.
মিনিমাম প্রায় 12,000 থেকে 13,000 পর্যন্ত পরিবার পানিবন্দী এখনো। সালসুই এবং ঘরের ভিতরে রোডঘাটের বেহাল অবস্থা।
According to Bangladesh's Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief, at least 54 people have been killed in floods and landslides across 7 districts, with Cox's Bazar recording the highest number of fatalities. More than 6 lakh people have been affected, with thousands of families remained marooned despite ongoing relief operations. The disaster has been compounded by landslides in the Rohingya refugee camp in Cox's Bazar, where several people, including children, lost their lives after heavy rains triggered slope collapses. Relief agencies continue to warn of further risks as forecasts predict more rainfall in the coming days. With roads damaged and many communities still cut off, authorities are racing to deliver food, drinking water, and emergency supplies. But for thousands of stranded families, the wait for meaningful relief continues as Bangladesh battles one of its worst monsoon disasters of the year.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
The India-UK Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA, came into force on July 15, marking a major milestone in bilateral ties. Speaking in New Delhi, British High Commissioner to India Lindy Cameron called the pact the new gold standard of trade deals, saying it would boost the combined GDP of both countries by nearly £5 billion and increase bilateral trade by over £25 billion annually in the long run. The agreement reduces tariffs, expands market access, and is expected to benefit sectors including textiles, leather, automobiles, financial services, education, and professional services. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang marked the company's 30-year partnership with Sega by thanking former Sega chief Shoichiro Irimajiri and game designer Yu Suzuki for helping save NVIDIA from bankruptcy in 1995. Speaking at an event in Tokyo, Huang said Sega's support and a $5 million investment were instrumental in NVIDIA's survival. Calling the journey unimaginable, he reflected on NVIDIA's rise to become the world's largest company. Fans gathered in large numbers to see Huang, who later celebrated the occasion with supporters at a Japanese restaurant. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa met French President Emmanuel Macron at the Élysée Palace during his 3-day visit to France. The two leaders held bilateral talks focused on strengthening long-standing ties between the two countries and discussed the international situation and other global issues. Ramaphosa's visit comes weeks after South Africa was not invited to the G7 summit hosted by France, with Paris stating it had chosen to invite Kenya instead. During his visit, the South African leader is also scheduled to co-chair a UNESCO Committee on Education at the organization's headquarters in Paris.
As protests continue to sweep across Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, growing allegations of repression, arrests, and the use of force have deepened public anger. What began as local demonstrations has now echoed far beyond the region, with members of the Kashmiri diaspora taking to the streets in London to demand justice, accountability, and an end to what they describe as ongoing human rights abuses. We have this report.
Tensions remain high across Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir as public demonstrations continue over what protesters describe as years of neglect, political marginalization, and unfulfilled promises. Demonstrators have accused the authorities of failing to address concerns related to governance, public welfare, and local rights. As the movement gained momentum, activists alleged that the response included communication restrictions, internet shutdowns, and a widening crackdown on those participating in or supporting the protests.
ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਫੋਰਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਦਹਿਸ਼ਤਗਰਦ ਫੋਰਸਿਸ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ 5 जून ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ता हाल तक एक माह ने दौरानिया ने अंदर इंटरनेट ने सर्विस की मअतल करी क्या इंसाना पर इतना जुल्म और बर्बरियत करी क्या लोगों पर इतना तशद्दद थानिया ने अंदर तशद्दद गिरफ्तारियां और गुमशुदगियां ये इस बात ना वाज़ह सबूत है कि इतना जड़ा हुक्मरान तबका है वो बुखलाहट का शिकार है और इतनी जी फोर्सिस है वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ इन्होंने जितने भी हुक्मरान तबका है और जितने भी अदारे चांदो बैठे हुए लोग ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਹੁਕਮਰਾਨੀ ਚਾਹਣੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਫੋਰਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਮ ਨਿਹੱਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਪਰ ਫੋਰਸਿੰਗ ਸ਼ੈਲਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਪੀ ਫਾਇਰਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਪੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਭਰਪੂਰ ਮਜ਼ਾਮਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ
Meanwhile, members of the Kashmiri diaspora took to the streets of London to raise their voice against what they described as Pakistan's continued repression in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Demonstrators condemned the alleged use of force against civilians, arrests of activists, and restrictions on fundamental freedoms, while urging the international community to take note of the deteriorating human rights situation in the region.
आज पाकिस्तान हाई कमीशन के बाहर ब्रिटिश कश्मीरी जो है बहुत बड़ी तादाद में वो जमा हो रहे हैं और पाकिस्तान की फोर्सेस के जुल्म के खिलाफ पूरी दुनिया में कश्मीरी जो है आवाज बुलंद कर रहे हैं। आज भी आजाद कश्मीर में पाकिस्तान की फोर्सेस ने इंडिया के मकाम पर, रंजनी के मकाम पर, कोटला के मकाम पर हमारे कश्मीरी को शहीद किया है और कश्मीरी जो है पाकिस्तान के फोर्सेस के इस जुल्म और जबर के खिलाफ पूरी दुनिया में सराहनीय एहतजाज है।
The continuing unrest has once again drawn attention to the broader challenges facing residents of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Activists and rights groups allege that political dissent is increasingly being suppressed, while concerns over governance, civil liberties, and public welfare remain unresolved. As protests persist both within the region and abroad, calls for accountability, justice, and meaningful reforms continue to grow louder.
Strengthening road connectivity has become a key focus of the government in Jammu and Kashmir. Today, we take you to Kila Tarhal Tehsil in Rajouri district, where roads and bridges are transforming connectivity. The opening of the Jambhir Bridge to traffic has brought much needed relief to commuters and local residents. Here's a special report.
A new chapter of progress has begun for the people of Kila Tarhal in Rajouri. The recently inaugurated Jambhir Bridge has significantly improved connectivity for border communities that endured years of difficult travel and seasonal disruptions. Residents have welcomed the rapid pace of infrastructure development, saying the improved connectivity is enhancing mobility, boosting economic opportunities, and bringing remote areas closer to the mainstream.
दूसरी जगह में घूम के आना पड़ता था और हम लोगों ने इतना मुश्किल इसका उठाया था और अभी ये बीआरओ ने पुल बनाया है, बहुत अच्छा बनाया है और बहुत तरीके से बना है और अच्छे अफसरों ने काम किया है, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है और सभी हम लोगों ने भी संजोग दिया है जो हमारे से होता है और हमारा नुकसान भी नहीं किया है, हम नुकसान से ही बचाया है और पुल भी बन गया। हमको बहुत खुशी हुई है और सभी पूरी तहसील को ये फ़ायदा हुआ है। जब कुछ साल पर ऐसे जो पूरी बरात डूब गई थी तो लोग डरते थे, शाम सवेरे कोई गाड़ी नहीं आती थी, डरते थे लोग ये लोग। तो अभी ऐसे हुआ है कि ये पूरा बन गया है तो बहुत खुशी हुई है हम लोगों को और आगे वास्ते भी जो है गवर्नमेंट ने ये बहुत सहूलत दी है हमारे लोगों को और रश मिला है, हर आदमी को रश मिला है। और इसका जो इस रोड का लिंक है पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट को है।
इस रोड में एक पहला पुल ऐसा बना है जो इस रोड में कभी भी इस पुल में इस रोड में नहीं है, जो बहुत इसका मतलब गवर्नमेंट का शुक्र अदा करते हैं। और जो काम चल रहा है आज भी, जो इधर ऑफिसर हैं उनका भी बहुत धन्यवाद, दिल लगा के और अच्छे ढंग से काम कर रहे हैं। इतनी खुशी है जैसे दिवाली दीपावली होती है, ऐसे वहाँ मतलब जो अगल बगल में जनता है इतनी खुशी है। और जैसे जब गाड़ी शुरू हुई है इधर हमने पटाखे डाले हैं, फटाले हैं और खुशी बनाई है। इस पुल बनने से बहुत देर की मांग थी जो अभी हमारी पूरी हुई है।
The 60-meter permanent steel Jambhir bridge over the Jambhir Nala on the Rajpur NH 144 link Kila Dharhal Lam Road has been built by the Borders Road Organization. The bridge provides reliable all-weather connectivity to nearly 10 villages closer to the line of control. The project marks a significant boost to border infrastructure and reflects government's continued focus on improving connectivity and accelerating development in the remote areas of Jammu and Kashmir.
बहुत बॉर्डर एरिया का दूर दराज एरिया है। इसमें बच्चे लोगों के से लेके बूढ़े तक जो भी बीमार होता था या बच्चे लोग स्कूल नहीं जा पाते थे, 70 साल के बाद ये हमारे रोड जो बन रही हैं या ये हमारे काम चल रहे हैं, ये 70 साल के बाद हुए हैं। हम गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बड़ा शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं इस पर। देखो, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने जो ये हमारे लिए पैगाम दिया था कि हम घर घर जो हैं रोडें घर घर तक हम जो भी फैसिलिटी हम भेजेंगे, तो वो हो रही है, उस पर काम चल रहा है, शद्दोमद से चल रहा है। तो इसलिए हम उनको सलूट करते हैं, उनका वेलकम शुक्रिया करते हैं।
The Jambhir Bridge is more than just a new crossing. It is a symbol of Jammu and Kashmir's rapidly expanding infrastructure and development. Across the Union Territory, an improving road network is reducing travel time, strengthening border connectivity, and bringing remote communities closer to education, healthcare, markets, and opportunities. As connectivity grows, so does the promise of inclusive development, ensuring that even the farthest regions become an integral part of Jammu and Kashmir's growth story.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.